Hi boys and girls, welcome to lesson 4 in our mini unit of adding 3-digit numbers. So today lesson 4 is all about reviewing the 3 strategies that we've learned the last 3 lessons, and we're going to put them all together. And then you will also have the choice to choose which strategy you prefer to solve a problem. So just a quick refresher, lesson 1, we learned about base 10 Betsy. Lesson 2, we learned how to add 3-digit numbers using the number line with number line Niles. And in lesson 3, we learned how to add 3-digit numbers using break it down Daisy, using expanded form. And remember, expanded form means stretching the number out. So lesson 1 was base 10 Betsy, lesson 2 was number line Niles, and lesson 3 was break it down Daisy. So in lesson 4 today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose one problem to do. I'm going to model it using the base 10 Betsy method, the number line Niles method, and the break it down Daisy method, just to refresh your memory on how to use each strategy. So I'm going to model one problem using all 3 strategies, and then you will have a chance to work on your own using all 3 strategies today. So before we begin, I want you to grab a few materials. I want you to grab from the packet. Page 79 from the packet looks like this. You'll need these 4 cards. You will need a pencil or a whiteboard marker to write with. And if you could grab all 3 of these posters that you've printed throughout the last 3 lessons and have those handy, that will be helpful. So page 79 in the packet for lesson 4, a pencil or a pen to write with, and base 10 Betsy, number line Niles, and break it down Daisy poster. So go ahead and pause the video now, go grab those materials, and I'll see you soon. Hi boys and girls, welcome back. I hope you're able to grab all the materials. All right, let's get started with lesson 4. So remember, we're reviewing all 3 strategies today. We're going to use the problem or the example 234 plus 534 for each strategy. So I'm going to model how to solve this problem using base 10 Betsy first. So remember, when we use base 10 Betsy, we're able to make both numbers into base 10 with base 10 blocks and then add them together. So first I'll make 234 into base 10 blocks. And 234, there are 2 hundreds. There are 3 tens or 30. So 10, 20, 30. And there are 4 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, my next job is to break up 534 into the base 10 form. In 534, how many hundreds are there, boys and girls, in 534? Go ahead and say it out loud. Excellent, there are 500. So I'm going to draw 5 hundreds, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There are 3 tens in 534, or 30. So 1, 2, 3. And there are 4 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now that I've broken up each number into base 10 blocks, my job is just to add them together. So I'm going to start in the ones column. So we have 4 ones and 4 ones. So 4 plus 4 is 8. We have 3 tens plus 3 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, or that equals 60. So 6 in the tens place. And now we're going to count our hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 700. So 234 plus 534 using the base 10 Betsy strategy gives us 768. 768. So now I'm going to erase my board and I'm going to use the number line Niles method. So boys and girls, when we're using the same strategy, the same problem, we should be getting the same answer every time. We're just showing different ways to show our work. So let me put my number line poster up here now. Now we're working on number line Niles. So our problem again is same problem, 234 plus 534. All right, so remember, the number line Niles strategy. I like to start with the biggest number in the problem. Then I make jumps of hundreds, tens, and ones. So 234 plus 534. Go ahead, boys and girls, and say out loud, which number is the larger number? Is 234 larger or is 534 larger? Go ahead and say it out loud. Excellent. So I'm going to draw my number line. 534 is the larger number. So we're going to start with 534 here. All right, now I need to look at my smaller number, 234. Now I'm going to break it up and make jumps of hundreds, tens, and ones. So in 234, there are 200. So I'm going to make two big jumps of 100. So 1, 2. I'm always going to write on top what I'm doing so I know. So I'm adding 100. I'm adding another 100. So now 534 plus 100 is 634. 634 plus 100 is 734. So now that I've added the hundreds, I need to take a look at my tens. How many tens are in the tens place, boys and girls? 3, excellent. Or we also know that that equals 30. So I'm going to break it up into jumps of 10. 3 jumps of 10, which will equal 30. So here's 10, 20, 30. And remember, I'm always adding on top what I'm doing so I don't get confused when I'm adding. So 234 plus 10, 734 plus 10 is 744. 744 plus 10 is 754. 754 plus 10 is 764. All right, so our last job is to look at the ones place. What number is in the ones place, boys and girls, in 234? Excellent, 4. So we're going to make 4 jumps of 1 to get our final answer. So we're starting at 764. We're doing 4 small jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember to add what you're doing on top. So I'm adding 1 each time, so I'm adding that on top. 764 plus 1 is 765. 765 plus 1 is 766. 766 plus 1 is 767. And 767 plus 1 is 768. So our answer of 234 plus 534 is 768. And as you notice, boys and girls, this is the same answer that we got when we used the base 10 Betsy strategy. So remember, we're using the same problem, showing our work in different ways. So we did base 10 Betsy. This was the number line Niles method. And now we're going to show it using the break it down Daisy expanded form method. So let me erase my board. We're going to review the last strategy. And then you will have time to work on page 79 from the packet. All right, so let me take down my number line Niles poster. Break it down Daisy. All right, break it down Daisy. If we can remember from lesson 3, I break down my numbers in expanded form. Or remember, that means to stretch our numbers out to show each value of each digit. Then I add my hundreds, my tens, and my ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my hundreds, tens, and ones table like I did in lesson 3 to help me add and organize my numbers. So we have hundreds, tens, and ones. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start with 234. How many hundreds are in 234? Excellent. So I'm breaking that down into 200. Remember, expanded form or stretching it out. There are 3 tens in 234, or that equals what, boys and girls? 30. Excellent. And we have 4 ones in 234. All right, our next number we're going to expand or stretch out using the break it down Daisy method is 534. So boys and girls, go ahead and say out loud, how many hundreds are in 534? Excellent, 500. So now we have 3 tens. We have 3 tens, which we know equals 30, excellent, equals 30. And last but not least, we're looking in the ones columns. Go ahead and say out loud, boys and girls, how many ones are in the ones column in 534? 4, excellent. So now that we've broken down or expanded our numbers and stretched them out, we need to add the hundreds, tens, and ones together. All right, so I'm going to start over here at the ones place. 4 plus 4 is 8. Excellent. 4 plus 4 is 8. 30 plus 30 is, excellent, 60. And 500 plus 200 is 700. Excellent, 700. So now that I've added my hundreds, my tens, and my ones columns, I'm going to write this as an answer. So 768. So 768. So 234 plus 534 equals 768. As you can see, boys and girls, with all three of our strategies, we've used the same problem and we've gotten the same answer each time. So whichever strategy you prefer, whether it's break it down Daisy, number line Niles, or base 10 Betsy, whichever strategy you prefer to add 3-digit numbers is whichever one you may choose to do. So if you look at page 79 from the packet, now it looks like this, you should have it next to you. There are 4 different cards. You can choose to cut the cards out individually or just leave it as one whole sheet. So your job now is to complete this sheet for lesson 4. There are different directions for each problem, so it's very important you read them and see what it's asking you. It will ask you to use a certain strategy each time. So for box A, it says use number line Niles to add the numbers. So for 249 plus 219, you are going to use the number line Niles strategy. For box B, it says use a strategy of your choice to add the numbers. So for that one, for box B, you could choose number line Niles, base 10 Betsy, or break it down Daisy. So you get to choose which strategy you'd like to use here. For box C, you're going to use base 10 Betsy to add the numbers. And for box D, it says F, but it really should be D. For box D, you're going to use a strategy of your choice. So for box B, and it's labeled F, B and F, you're going to choose which of the 3 strategies you would like to use. So you can either complete your work on the back of this sheet or you can use scratch paper. So what I want you to do now, boys and girls, is go ahead and pause the video, work through these 4 problems, use these 3 posters if you have them as a reference, and I'll come back and check your answers with you in a moment. All right, boys and girls, good luck. All right, boys and girls, welcome back. I hope you were able to work through those 4 problems. So I'm going to review the answers real quick. So starting with this sheet, I'm going to be working on box A. So it says use the number line Niles to add the numbers. So I have my equation written here and I have my number line. And remember, boys and girls, when we use number line Niles, do we always want to start with the larger number or the smaller number? Go ahead and say it out loud. The larger number or the smaller number? Larger, excellent. So I'm going to take 249 and put it here. So now I'm going to work with my smaller number of 219. I need to look at the hundreds place and see how many hundreds there are. Go ahead and hold up how many hundreds are in 219. Excellent, 2. So I'm going to make 2 big jumps of 100. 1, 2. Very important that I label what I'm doing on top. 249 plus 100 is 349. And 349 plus 100 is 449. All right, boys and girls, now that I've added my 200s, I need to look at my tens place. How many tens are in the tens place? 1, excellent. So I'm going to do 1 jump of 10. Remember, I'm always writing on top what I'm doing. 449 plus 10 is 459. 459. So now that I've added my hundreds and my tens, I need to look at my ones. So I can do 9 small jumps of 1, or I can do 1 jump of 5 and 4 single jumps. So I'm not doing so many jumps. So I'm going to do 1 jump of 5 and 4 jumps of 1. We know that 5 plus 4 equals 9. So 459 plus 5 is 464. 464 plus 1 is 465. 465 plus 1 is 466. 466 plus 1 is 467. And 467 plus 1 is 468. So our answer, 249 plus 219, is 468. So the answer for letter A using number line Niles is 468. So go ahead and check your work for that one, and we'll start checking in with number B. All right, boys and girls, for letter B, it says to use a strategy of your choice. So you could have chosen base 10 Betsy, number line Niles, or you could have chosen break it down Daisy. So your answer for letter B, you should have gotten 762. 762 for letter B. Whichever strategy you chose, we should have got the same answer, 762 for letter B. All right, letter C is using the base 10 Betsy to add the two numbers. Base 10 Betsy. So our problem for letter C is 122 plus 256. 122 plus 256. So using base 10 Betsy, I'm going to take 122 and break it apart into base 10 blocks first. So we have 100, we have 2 tens or 20, and we have 2 ones. All right, now I'm going to break down 256. In 256, there are 2 hundreds. We have 5 tens, or we know that equals 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have 6 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now that I broke it into base 10 blocks, I'm going to add them together. So we have 6 plus 2 is 8. 5 plus 2 is, excellent, 7. 5 plus 2 is 7. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So 122 plus 256 equals 378. So for letter C, you should have gotten 378. So go ahead and check your work. Make sure your work looks similar to mine and that you got the correct answer. All right, I'm going to erase the board now. And the last one, letter D, or labeled letter F, also says choose whichever strategy you would like to solve the number. So letter D, we have 609 plus 235. 609 plus 235. So I will, for modeling purposes, I'm going to use the break it down Daisy. You could have chose either number line Niles or base 10 Betsy, or break it down Daisy, but for this purpose, I'm going to use break it down Daisy to show you the answer. So remember, I'm going to make my chart hundreds, tens, and ones. All right, I'm first going to start with 609. Let me get a different marker. All right, 609. We're expanding and break it down Daisy, expanding or stretching our numbers. So in 609, we have 600. We have 0 tens, so we just put a 0 there, and we have 9 ones. For 235, we have 200. If we look in the tens place, we have 3 or 30, and in the ones place, we have 5. All right, so now my job is to add them together. So 9 plus 5 is 14. 30 plus 0 is 30, and 600 plus 200 is 800. All right, boys and girls, so now that we've added our hundreds, our tens, and our ones, we see that we have 14 in our ones column, and if we know that if we have 10 or greater, we need to regroup. So I'm going to take this 10 from the 14 and bring it over here to add an extra 10. So now, in the ones column, I have a 4. In the tens column, I have 30 plus 10, or 40. and then I simply have 800. So when I add all those numbers together, 840 and 4, our answer of 609 plus 235 is 844. So whichever strategy you chose for the last one, for F, you should have got 844. So whether you chose base 10 Betsy, break it down Niles, number line Niles. So whichever strategy you chose, you should have got 844 for your answer. All right, boys and girls, this is the end of lesson 4. Next week, we're going to be starting our new mini unit on subtraction. So we're going to be doing something similar with these strategies, but doing 3-digit subtraction. I hope you have a great weekend, boys and girls. See you next week.